Hello, and welcome to listening to my first review in a series of Halloween specials. We start with a classic horror film and its remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974 and 2003. The original was a shocker in 1974, breaking boundaries what was allowed and appropriate to show in movies. It was promoted as a film based on true stories. I don't know how much of that is true. It generated a buzz that only helped the film to become a massive success, even though it was banned outright in several countries, including my country, Finland. $30.8 million dollars from ticket sales against its $300,000 budget. Now that is a box office hit. The film was directed by Toby Hooper, who will direct the first sequel in the franchise 12 years later. He also directed the original Poltergeist, although there are rumors that Steven Spielberg actually directed it. The main plot goes like this. A group of five young adults are traveling with a van to the main character's, Sally Hardest's old family homestead. The other travelers are Sally's brother Franklin, who's in a wheelchair. The other three, Jerry, Kirk, and Pam, are their friends. Along the way, they pick up a hitchhiker who's seriously fucked up in the head, and soon they need to get rid of him. That would not be the last time we see him. The group stops at a gas station that doesn't really have anything to offer. It just raises suspicions towards the owner. When they arrive to the homestead, Kirk and Pam set to investigate the nearby area. They find a house and think maybe they could get gas from there. Nope. Instead, they find a disturbing house and Leatherface, one of the most famous horror villains in history, the big, human skin wearing cannibal. Jerry heads out to look for Pam, but he also gets to taste the power of Leatherface. Franklin and Sally are left. What will happen? Watch the movie if you still haven't, because this is a classic and deserves that title. The film has a grindhouse feel to it. It's so gritty and you can almost feel the heat and dryness of Texas. The atmosphere is excellent, and so many movies were inspired by this film. I really enjoyed the brother Franklin. I think he was the best from the bunch, characters and acting wise. He was funny. The acting overall was decent or mediocre. All the people were pretty unknown actors. I guess it helped to create the illusion that this really could have happened. The film had a very rough feel to it. It was shot like you'd expect from a low budget movie like that. But it has some nice camera angles. Sound is very important in horror film, and this one introduced a one really recognizable sound. It's the camera sound effect. I think you've heard it. I will put a link to the description. I love the first time Leatherface appears. It's just so sudden. Boom, he's there. No warning or anything. Boom, just holy shit. Shit just got real. There were some negatives. I thought the group of five was very forgettable except Franklin. I didn't really care for any of them. It was actually a surprise to me that Sally is the main character of the movie. She wasn't given too much screen time in the first half. That's not a good thing because we didn't get to know her enough. Does the Texas Chainsaw Massacre still manage to scare anyone? Yeah, I think so. It didn't really scare me, but I thought the ending chase was excellent, and it must have been nerve-wracking back in the day. It honestly was pretty suspenseful. I can see why this movie was banned and created such a huge media circus, but it has lost some of its power over the years. This one got a uh, 4K restoration 2 years ago for its 40th anniversary and was shown in some theaters, and it also hit Blu ray the next year. The movie was shot on a 16mm film, so the picture can't be that good. I honestly think this new Blu-ray release is the pretty much the limit if you don't count the 4K Blu-ray. There just isn't that much information left in the picture to uncover. I will give this classic 4 out of 5. 50s horror classics saw remakes in the 80s. Some 60s horror films got remade in the 90s, and when stepped into the 2000s, it will be the time to remake some 70s horror. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was one of them. Produced by Michael Bay and directed by Marcus Nispel. He would later direct the Friday the 13th remake. This one was his first movie he directed. Not too bad to be honest. Quite a task to remake one of the most beloved horror films ever. Why the hell would you even do that? Well, this one is one of the better remakes from the 2000s and it did really well in the box office. $107.1 million. That's not too bad. It pretty much tells the same story, except now this group is going to the Leonard Skinner concert after buying some weed. Okay, they pick up a hitchhiker who is a young woman. She shoots her brains out inside of the van. What a mess. From the very start, you notice that this one is a lot more violent than the original. I was expecting that. There are now more crazy people in this one. Kinda reminds me of The Hills Have Eyes. There's also this sheriff. I think he's trying to be like the lieutenant in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, played by Dennis Hopper, although I haven't seen that movie. This sheriff is played by R. Lee Ermey. He's easily the best part of this movie. If you've seen Full Metal Jacket, you know what I mean. Jessica Biel plays the main character, Erin. Jessica is pretty good in this and nice to look at. I really don't give a shit about any of the other characters. Leatherface looks cool, but the keyword here is cool. He doesn't look creepy or scary like the original. There were also some stupid jump scares. Loud fucking noise when something passes from the camera. Boo, so scary. There were some intense scenes, but while watching this, I realized how good the original actually is. I give this one, I don't want to give half points. Um, okay, I lean towards 3 out of 5. A weak 3 points. Alright, that's it. Stay tuned.